You're in for a great treat today. Stick around for another live performance right here on Views and Vibes. Hello again, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Views and Vibes, our 20th episode to be exact. I am your host, Tariiq Omari Walton, and as you know, we always like to bring the best talent that this area has to offer. Today is absolutely no different. Please help me welcome, singing All I Do, Brooklyn's own Heda Rose.
You made my soul a burning fire. You're getting to be my one desire. You're getting to be all that matters to me. I hope and pray each day I live a little more love I'll have to give, a little more love that's devoted and true. All I do is think of you. I think about you. All I do is think about you. Baby, if don't suppose I should happen to cross your mind, and by some chance a girl like me you'd really been trying to find, let me tell you I'd light a candle every day and pray that you'll always feel this way, and pray that our love will forever be new. Oh boy, if I cannot have you for my own, I'd rather be lost and all alone. I'd rather keep thinking the way I do.
Welcome back to Views and Vibes, everyone. I hope you enjoyed the last segment when we had Heda Rose perform. And what was the name of the people performing with you? Who are your band members?
Okay, on keys we had Andre Owens.
Okay.
And on bass, we had Derek Williams.
Okay, fantastic performance, and welcome to the show, by the
Thank
way.
you. Thank you.
Why don't you tell me a little bit about, well, first I want to ask you, what do words mean to you? Because you are a songwriter. And so as you write your songs and you think about what you're writing, what do words actually mean to you?
Words mean a lot to me. Words to me are the carriage that transports the song to the listener's mind and heart and soul.
Okay, nice. And you, of course, being a vocalist, you had to come from somewhere. And so you're originally from Brooklyn.
I was born in Brooklyn.
You're born in Brooklyn, but you moved around like
Yes.
so many other people. Now, where did you move to from Brooklyn?
From Brooklyn to Queens to Virginia,
Okay, what part of Virginia?
Northern Virginia.
Okay,
Yeah.
all right. And so with the moving around, what kind of influences did you have in terms of what you've developed as an artist?
Oh, many different influences. You know, everywhere you go, there's a different vibe,
Yeah.
you know.
Even between Queens and Brooklyn, they're right next to each other.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
So, you know, you learn how to adapt to different environments and, you know, to people.
Okay. And how has that affected your actual singing part as a singer?
Well, I would have to allow you to be the judge of that more so than myself, but I would say it, you know, must naturally have had an effect on it because each experience is growth, and you know, experiences and growth affect your emotion
Right.
and how you, you know, convey yourself through music.
And when did you actually begin singing?
I began singing, well, my first solo, like a lot of other artists in church,
Okay.
at age 7.
7, wow.
Yeah.
What made you step out there at that point?
My mom, she
Really?
made me do it.
She was like, I want my child to be a star. Is that what happened?
At that particular time, she definitely made me do it.
Okay.
I was always a shy kid.
Really?
Yeah.
But not anymore.
I still feel like I'm shy, but
Okay.
I suppose I've grown so much and I've worked on it so much that you can't really
Tell.
detect it.
Now, are there any other performers in your family, or are you like the only one?
There are a few other performers in my family. One who stands out immediately is Rudy Bird, who's a bass player, a drummer.
Okay.
He's my cousin, and he is on the Miseducation of Lauryn Hill CD on 9 songs. He
Wow,
was
okay.
actually, you know, I believe working as her musical director at one point in time, and then he worked with Leela James and a few other people in the industry. Oh, Miles Davis,
Okay,
he worked
wow.
with him, and he's on the Michael Jackson CD that came out right after he passed away.
Wow,
It's on a
okay.
couple of those cuts.
Now, when did you actually begin to take singing and music more seriously?
Right now?
But you've been doing this for a while, though. It's not like you're just starting.
Yes.
You were actually part of a group back in the 90s called Pure Soul.
Yes.
Right? And so at that point, you had to be thinking about it before you joined the group. So was it like
Actually,
in
I
high
was.
school or?
Well, yeah. High school, my first musical experience was at the Kennedy Center for Performing Arts.
Okay.
There was an audition there that my mother brought me to called the Reluctant Dragon Musical Theater, and I was one of the people casted in that production.
Wow. Were you singing and acting or just
Singing
singing?
and acting.
Oh, wow, okay.
So I got to do that going into my 12th year of high school.
Okay.
And that put a bug in me for sure.
Did it?
Yeah.
How's that?
Oh, well, I mean, Kennedy Center, you know. There's something magical about that place, and you feel the arts all around you. And, you know, I always loved to sing, and it gave me an opportunity to start to express myself as a little professional, you know. I had to pick up my schoolwork prior to school in the mornings and then go to the Kennedy Center.
Oh, so this is like a real job.
Yeah, I had a real job and a paycheck.
Nice.
Definitely.
I know your
Yeah.
parents appreciated that.
They did, but they didn't appreciate me slipping up on my schoolwork.
Oh, okay. All right.
But I took care of that.
All right. So
Yeah.
after you finished high school, did you go right to college or did you continue to pursue singing?
How ironic that you would ask that. That was a very confusing period for me because I had gotten a scholarship, a 4-year scholarship, to go to college.
Okay.
From an experience at a museum, kind of humming in the bathroom
Wow.
stall, and someone heard me. Around the same time, I was offered a modeling contract.
Wow.
And around the same time, I was offered the opportunity to be a part of this group.
Wow.
Never had any brothers and sisters, and you know, to me, it was an opportunity to have a family.
And you're talking about the group Pure Soul.
The group Pure Soul.
Okay.
So I went with the group.
Okay. And what was that experience like for you, especially at that time? You know, being at that age and the other group members being a little bit older. How was that for you?
Oh wow, very challenging.
Okay.
At that time, I felt like I was just lost, like a small fish in a big pond. And I felt that they all were just amazing, and I would ask them, you know, every day if they could show me how to get to that point. They all went to Howard University and they studied music, and you know, I hadn't had that experience. I had the Kennedy Center, but not quite enough to feel like I could really get in there with them and, you know.
Did they welcome you like a little sister? Did they show you the ropes?
The truth?
That's what we're here to. Hey, break it down for us.
I guess they did in their own way.
Okay. I like a very good political answer.
Thank you.
All right. And so how long, you guys had a couple of big hits back in the mid-90s. How was that experience for you in terms of being signed to a major label? You guys were signed to Interscope, correct?
Yes.
Being signed to a major label, being on the road, promoting, you know, a few big hits. What was that like for you, especially being so young and being the youngest member of the group?
It was a whirlwind. When artists say that it's a whirlwind when it happens, that's exactly what happens. I mean, one day we were totally unknown, and the next day we were in front of Clive Davis, who heard about us and wanted to sign us. We ended up not going with Clive Davis, which was not my decision, no offense to Mr. Jimmy Iovine at Interscope, but we ended up going with Interscope Records.
Right.
We had 2 weeks to put a CD together.
2 weeks.
We were staying at the Holiday Inn in Philadelphia most of the time. We recorded at Gamble and Huff, Philly International. We recorded with En Vogue's producers out in LA. We recorded in Oakland with Raphael Sadiq, and we did it all in 2 weeks.
Wow.
And you know, it was an amazing experience hearing your song on the radio for the first time. That's,
what is that like?
That's the best.
Okay.
I still love that. You know, that's the best feeling.
Where were you when you first heard the song on the radio? Were you in a car? Were you like in the shower and you had the music on? I mean, where were you?
That's a very good question. I really can't recall where I was, but
you remember the feeling.
I remember the feeling. Yeah, and I remember the illusion of the business. You know what I mean? Because we're on TV and we're on radio, and I remember going over to one of the girls' apartments to watch our videos.
Really?
You know what I mean?
Right.
So, and you know, getting dropped off in a limo, and I don't even have cable. So, you know.
And one of your big hits was "We Must Be in Love."
Yes.
Which is like still a major wedding song. Here it is almost 20 years later, and still people are still playing that song.
Don't age me.
Oh, sorry, sorry about
15.
that. Sorry, yeah, 15,
Came out in
10, 15
96.
years ago. You know, yeah, just a little while ago.
Thank you.
But I always wondered, because one of the reasons why I never got into acting, besides the fact that I can't act, I couldn't imagine saying the same lines over and over again.
Yeah.
What's it like having such a big song and you're forced to sing it everywhere? Do you ever get tired of it, or is it like a new thing every time you sing it?
Well, wow, that's interesting, because
I can't act?
although
Oh, okay.
no,
Okay.
I didn't say that. I think you're good.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
But the person who wrote the song, who's an amazing musician by the name of Kim Jordan, for some reason, I still didn't think that was, you know, I just didn't believe it was a hit song. And it still surprises me to this day that it has carried on, you know, so long. But, you know the saying, be careful what you ask for?
Right.
It's one of those situations, you
Right.
know, you just, once it's there, you have to now follow through, because that's what you wanted, you know what I mean? And what, you know, what doesn't take you out makes you stronger.
Right.
And you just, if you love it, you stay in it,
Right.
you know,
Right.
no matter what.
I understand.
And, you know, you appreciate every opportunity.
Fantastic.
You know,
well,
to
we're going to talk
share.
about more opportunities and what you're doing right now. When we come back from the break, we'll be seeing you in about 2 more minutes.
Suppose I should happen to cross your mind. mind. And by some chance, a girl like me, you'd really been trying to find. Let me tell you, I light a candle every day and pray that you'll always, as he gazes another. The day a free man, the night prior he was her lover. There's something in his heart, though it seems undone. It takes off running at the sun.
Welcome back to Views and Vibes. I'm sitting here with Heda Rose, still talking to her about her experiences in the music business. Now, when you and Pure Soul broke up, when did you decide to go ahead and start doing your own music?
I was always a writer, you know, before I got involved with Pure Soul, I was writing and working with a producer, and that's how I got, you know, into the group by audition.
Okay.
But
Were you able to
I
write
was
anything
always
for the group?
writing.
Were you able to write anything for the group?
Yes, by default.
Oh, really?
We were working with a producer named Teddy Riley, who's
heard of
most
him.
famous for working with Michael Jackson, and we were in the studio with him in Virginia, and I've always written, you know, so I just heard a part to one of the songs we were working on called Something About the Way You Do, and I presented it to him, you know, so one of the other girls could sing it, and he said, you're gonna sing it. And I said, oh no, I don't sing lead in this group, they don't really let me sing lead. And he's like, well, you're singing lead today, so, but he didn't give me my credit. Teddy. No.
Call Teddy up.
I'm gonna call him up.
Now, so when did you actually decide to do your first album?
So it's funny that you would ask that, because I have a lyric in one of my songs. I've been working on a record for the last 6 springs. And I finally got my CD finished, my first full, complete R&B pop CD called Hope, Love, and Rhythm.
And when did that come out?
It has not really officially come out yet. I
Okay.
have a single that's out on iTunes and Amazon right now called Leaving With Me. But that will be officially released in April.
Okay. And so what's it like being an independent artist now as compared to being a signed artist?
Well, being an independent artist means more freedom. Freedom to, you know, express yourself the way you choose to through your content, your lyrics, your music, your, you know, your style choices.
It also means a lot more work on your behalf, right?
A lot more work on my behalf.
Right.
It means that I can actually write, you know, on my project, which is a great thing for me.
Now, are you just doing the lyrics, or are you doing the music as well?
I do the lyrics and the melody,
Okay.
and I work with a lot of great musicians and collaborate to get it all put together.
So what's the difference, though, between actually doing all your own stuff and having somebody there who's actually trying to guide you? I mean, do you feel like it's just freeing, or do you feel like you want that help too, or were you used to having that help or having somebody that was there to do everything for you?
I've grown so much musically that I trust my own ear. You know, I trust my own judgment. I trust my judgment and the people around me, the musicians I work with. I work with musicians that I look up to and admire. And, you know, to me, I feel that if it feels right to us, then, you know, it will feel right to other people as well. So, you know, I'm always open to suggestions, but
Right.
I like being in
Like having that
control of my
right?
destiny.
Right. And you're very charismatic when you're performing. We saw that when you did All I
Thank
Do.
you.
Do you prefer to be on stage performing, or do you prefer to be in the studio recording?
Oh my goodness, I used to prefer being on stage rather than the studio, because it comes across more authentic to me. But now I love being in the studio as well. So, you know, in fact, I'll be going back into the studio very shortly to finish up my second project.
A second project already. So you haven't even released the first one.
Yes.
And you're already working on your second one.
Definitely.
Now, how do the two differ?
The first one is an R&B pop project,
Okay.
and the second one is R&B jazz R&B.
Wow, okay. Are you working with the same musicians, or did you have to change up musicians for the different sounds?
The first CD has different musicians from the second. The first CD has more synthesized, computerized sounds, and the second CD is more organic.
Wow.
In fact, one of the musicians that performed today is a part of that project. We co-wrote some of the material that we've recorded so far, and he's actually playing on the material, Andre Owens. But you know, it's definitely a different sound and a different vibe, and I'm excited about it.
Do you feel different being in the studio producing this album compared to the other one?
Most definitely. We recorded it all at the same time, you know, versus a track and then going and singing to a track.
Okay.
You know, we you know, you could see the horn player, you could see the drummer,
So you
could
can actually
see
feel it.
Yes,
Right.
and you know that there's nothing like that energy, and once that transfers onto, you know, the CD, that I believe that that's what people feel, and you know what really makes it. You know, if I can say great, because it feels
Right.
great to me and it
Right.
sounds great to me.
Now, what about when you are performing? You know, you're talking about the way that people feel when they hear your music. How do you go about connecting with your audience when you're in front of them?
Well, I look at performing as communication. You know, if you believe in what you are saying, then you can communicate that with authenticity and, you know, with conviction.
Right.
And so I just believe in communicating the message of the song, and I always hope that the audience can relate to it in some way, and it can encourage them, inspire them,
Right.
you know, uplift them, you know, whatever the case may be. That's what I hoped to accomplish in performing.
Now, with your 2 new projects coming out, when they do come out, where can our viewers find it?
Well, definitely on Amazon.com and iTunes, CD Baby shortly, and in Walmart and hopefully Best Buy.
Okay, great. Well, you have a website as well, too, right?
Yes.
Okay, and what's your website?
www.hedarose.com.
Okay.
www.hedarose.com.
And when can we expect your projects out?
Well, we're looking at April and May for both CDs in
yes.
all of the areas mentioned.
Okay, fantastic. Well, we have to go to break, and when we come back, you guys, we'll be seeing another performance from Heda Rose and her band.
Trying to address it has proved to be really not the way. He'd rather ignore than to face reality. His love is divided into maybe 3.
All right, welcome back to Views and Vibes. I want to thank my guest, Heda Rose, for coming on today. If you want to find out more information about Heda Rose, please go to our website, viewsandvibes.com. Until next time, my name is Tariiq Omari Walton, and Heda Rose is going to take us out with The Unsettler. Thank you very much.
Kisses her lips as he gazes another. Today a free man, the night prior he was her lover. There's something in his heart, though he seems undone. It takes off running at the sound of her gun. Learns how to love in unconditional ways, while letting him roam in his field of play. Will she be as strong as she was yesterday? Trying to address it has proved to be really not the way. He'd rather ignore than to face reality. His love is divided into maybe 3. She knows, like the leaves know to fall from the trees, that his love, like the seasons, may change suddenly. points get crossed, and she can't understand. With no explanation, no reason or plan, his embrace were to grief like the shore to the sand. So she keeps a light in the window